to the Writing Corner. My name is LD Valencia, the author of the Gifted World series, and today we're going to continue a series where we're talking about the keys to success. So in our first video, we were talking a little bit about certain ways I've kind of like failed to meet with some success, right? Some ways I've kind of stumbled forward, right? And today I want to talk a little bit about balance. One of the big things as an indie author that I've had to learn is balance. Not only with the amount of stuff you have to do as an indie author, there are so many little things that are on your plate as an indie author, but also in my work-life balance, right? So let's talk first about all the things you have to do as an author. There's a lot of things on your plate as an indie author. All the clerical stuff like emailing, scheduling meetings, doing things like contacting your cover artists, editors, things like that if you want to get artwork done. So all those things kind of fall on you, unless you are at the point where you want to hire like a VA or a virtual assistant. A lot of things are going to fall on you. And there are a lot of other things you have to kind of like think about and pursue in that journey of becoming an indie author, right? Like starting with getting it copyrighted and then moving on to getting an editor, getting a cover artist, and like kind of getting all those balls rolling. It really starts with you. And so you have to balance all these things on top of doing things like writing and editing and revising and moving through those different writing stages, right? And then on top of that, you have to do social media, right? A lot of authors I know don't love having to do social media, but it's something that kind of comes with the territory, especially nowadays where it's almost like required to get a book deal is to be on social media and have a presence and have a following. I've heard that traditionally published authors, they're looking at your social media followers and saying like, do you have enough? Should we give you a book deal, right? So it's just one of those things you have to do. You have to balance all these different plates. You have to do all these different things to be an indie author. Now the other side is a work-life balance. One of the things I've kind of learned is I'm not going to sacrifice family time for my author career. I'm not going to miss one of my kids' things or miss a birthday party to go do a book event. I'm not going to, you know, go write while it's evening and we're all together as a family. I write in the small windows of time I can when either they're asleep or they're napping or if they're away and doing something. That's when I'm going to try and write. That's when I'm going to write. I'm not going to say, hey, family, I'm going to go write. You know, I know you guys are going to be awake for another hour and you're playing. I'm going to go do something else. I just have learned that that's not something I want to do. I don't want to have success in my writing career at the expense of being with my family. I'm fortunate that I kind of chose a career where I do have a lot of time off as a teacher. I have a lot of time off in the summer. I have a lot of holidays off. I know if there's a holiday, I generally get it off, right? And so I do get a lot of family time, and I'm not going to sacrifice that for my writing career, and that's just a choice I've made. I'm sure there are plenty of authors that would say, you know, I want to go write, I want to do this, I want to do that. And my wife is great when there is something like I have to do. I have to go do a meeting. I have to get some more writing stuff done, or I have to go I got this thing back from my editor. I need to go look at it real fast. My wife is willing to let me go do it really quickly, or send an email really quick, but it is not something I'm going to sacrifice. And you know, it's really cute when I have sales on my TikTok shop and stuff. My boys will cheer with me and they'll celebrate with me and they'll even want to come to the post office to drop the orders off and everything. And so we've kind of made it a little bit of a family endeavor, but I never want to be like, this is daddy's writing time. I'm going to do that instead of hanging out with you guys as a family. Those are just two areas where I've met with success and kind of learned to balance those things out, and I feel like it's an important thing to share with my audience. So thanks again for joining us for Keys to Success as an Indie Author.